every single episode is going to be live.
Every town has a ghost story that's been passed down throughout the generations. But what if those legends are true? My job is to travel to these destinations, explore them, and figure out the mystery that lies within.
Hey everyone, here we are, season 7, Ghost Biker Explorations, first episode, episode 1. Hope you guys can hear me. We got a little bit of road noise right here. Wow, there's already so many people here online, and I want to say hello to everybody, but first, I want to take just a few minutes and thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. We've got a really great show planned and a really great location. We just want to also mention our thoughts and prayers with all the folks who were affected by this hurricane that came through. It really devastated a lot of East Tennessee as well as North Carolina, Western North Carolina there. And so our thoughts and prayers are with those folks. Thankfully, where we're at there at the historic Scott County Jail, we did not receive any damage, had a lot of rain. And we've had a lot of people who have sent messages to us, and we really, truly appreciate your kindness and appreciate you thinking of us. So, but we just wanted to go ahead and put that out there. But like I said, season 7, here we are. And we are doing each episode live, just like last year. And so we really, truly appreciate you all tuning in and being my eyes and ears through all of this. Now, just want to say hello to the folks over here in the chat room. I'm not going to spend a lot of time necessarily saying hello because we'll want to get to the investigation and get to the questions. But hello to Dee Dee all the way out in California. Great to see you, Misty Hoot. It's always good to have you join. Sonia Thompson from The Walking Dead. Jolly Goins, hello. Daryl Paulette from Clover Hill Village. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We're hoping it's going to be a good night. Thank you for the good luck wishes. Janet Alms all the way out in Arizona. Hello. Hope you guys are finding some relief from the heat. Nancy Weems, glad you got your power back. Hey, James in South Carolina. Mr. Bob Burnell. Lori West. John Keller. Ronnie Anderson. Hello, you guys. Again, thank you so much. My business partner, Dr. Christy Sumner. Thank you so much for tuning in. And yes, definitely thank you for thinking of the jail, everyone. We do appreciate that. Shane, hello. Michelle, all the way in Alabama there. Again, thank you guys. So as you know, we're going to be on here for probably the next 2 hours. We'll see how the battery and stuff goes, but we've had a little bit of activity already at this location. I don't know if you were able to, again, hopefully you guys can hear me there. I don't know if you were able to really tell what we're going to be covering this season based on the trailer that I put out. But as you know, we always have a theme with our seasons. And so this season is no different. And I'm really, really honored that these locations have allowed me to come in and communicate with their spirits, see if they have a little bit of activity, and promote their locations. And so, so where I am actually at, I'm going to turn the camera around here. Give me just a minute because I am working from my phone here. Let's see. It always takes a minute when I'm working from that, but I'm going to turn this around. Okay, so if you haven't been able to tell from where we were, from the trailer there, we are actually investigating all antique stores, oddity shops, and collections this season. And that's what's really cool about this is you guys know these locations have got some interesting history in and of themselves, just the building, as well as the items inside. So we may get activity tonight that is triggered, or even throughout the entire season, that's triggered by artifacts that were important to people. I mean, these were different items that had some real significance and importance to different family members and people themselves. And then also, the buildings itself. Each one that I'm investigating at has a really interesting history. And so I have actually traveled down here to Dahlonega, Georgia, and I am investigating tonight Dipsy Doodle Antiques. And we're not in the necessarily the part named the historic district, but we are back here on some property that has some pretty interesting history to it. Let me walk back over here to the lot. Has some interesting history to it. And it was originally the Panther property. The Panthers was a very prominent family here that owned a lot of land. And so this building itself, I'm going to step back a little bit and see if we can get a good picture of it. This building has had many uses. Not 100% sure exactly the year that this building was built, but it was originally a feed and seed store. And I want to show you something really, really cool. In the pavement here are actual horseshoes. So this is something really cool. I mean, if you guys have followed any of my live streams, my podcasts and such, horseshoes is something that's kind of significant. I've got horseshoes over all my doors. You know, the different superstitions and folklore that goes with that. My grandma kept horseshoes over her door. And so, and again, we won't get into all that because that's a whole show in and of itself. But we're going to go in and set everything up. We've already done a little bit of setting up before the show there. But also, after this building was used as a feed and seed store at one point, it was used as essentially sort of like a halfway house. It was a ministry by Waypoint. Waypoint had a ministry here, and they minister to addicts and folks that are it's a male ministry, and so they would live on site, and they also had a store in front that they could work and essentially get back on their feet. So this building has had a lot of different uses with it, and then the owners, they ended up purchasing the building and opening it, and I think it was in pretty bad disrepair, right? I've got the owners off to the side over here. I know that one of them is actually going to help me with an experiment a little bit later. But yeah, maybe a couple. We've been talking and kind of scheming beforehand. So, but whenever they bought the building, it was in quite disrepair. And so they ended up going and fixing it up. And then Dipsy Doodle opened in 2016, 17. Okay, in 2017. And it's a really cool antique store. And I just want to show you guys this. I'm going to flip this around, actually. Turn my camera back on here. Trust me, I'm going to quit flipping. I'm having to do it here with this. I'm actually moderating and being the camera person myself tonight. So it's going to be really interesting. I just love this. I was talking to Kim a little while ago, and she was telling me the story on this horse, which is so cool. And you said it was part of Pendergrass and the flea market there. So so this horse probably has some interesting stories in and of itself. So we're going to go ahead and step on inside here. I'm going to kind of show you the lay of the land in here, and then we're going to get started on the investigation. It's going to be a little bit quieter in here. We've got some of the lighting on because we definitely want to have ambient lighting. Now, this location has never been investigated before, which I love investigating places like that. They have their own kind of challenges because a lot of the time you never know if it's going to be active, or if the spirits are going to really know a lot about the equipment we're using. But because we investigate a lot of locations that have maybe never been investigated before, I've got some tools that tend to be, for me, pretty tried and true with some of these early investigations. So let me just kind of look here at the comments here. Everyone's saying hello. Yes, Nancy, that is one of the things too. You bring up a good point. I always wonder about antique shops and different stores, because again, the buildings have had different uses. So you've got a lot of potential. And actually, we've got a flashlight that's turned on back there in the back. We've got a lot of potential about where activity could be coming from. James says, I love antique stores and was just in Dahlonega. Did not see this store. This one is kind of outside of the historic district. About how far out of the?
Well, heading towards Gainesville.
Okay, it's about 12 minutes heading towards Gainesville on Highway 60. And we're going to give you guys all that information here in just a little bit, because we want you to come visit this really great store. Let's see. And Dee Dee, I will definitely let you know which way to hang the horseshoe, because it doesn't really completely matter. There's different theories behind that. And this is interesting. Dee Dee does dream interpretations. If you all missed seeing her on my show, this is interesting. She had a dream the other night about a horse ride, just like what was outside, which is pretty cool. And yes, kick stands up, Shane. All right, so we're gonna do a little tour here. There's all kinds of different items. So a couple things I've got set up. I've set up the flashlights. If you guys watch me, you know I like the flashlights, especially in these newer locations. I've got a tripwire running right through here between, yeah, actually, if you don't mind, Jared's gonna turn that light on for us. Yeah, it's kind of up around the top right there. Right around the edge where that little cushion is, you'll feel a little toggle switch. Like around the top part. No, right here. It's hard to find. I may have covered it up. Oh, it's on this back side, right here. Okay, there we go. All right, guys. So we've set it. Yep. Now that is me setting up the music box. You all know James's famous music box that he made for me here. We're going to try it here and see if we can get some activity. So I've set up flashlights along all of these different booths, because I'm hoping that whoever is in one of these booths, that maybe they will come out and talk to us. We've got toys. We've got military memorabilia. We're going to do an experiment with some of the uranium glass here in a few minutes and see. I do have a REM pod set up on back here around the loading dock area, and another flashlight. So like I said, this store doesn't, what's interesting about this is it doesn't really have a lot of significant reports of activity. When I ask, it's a relatively quiet store, but I'm curious, could that be because maybe things are happening and they're just not noticed? Maybe they're not dramatic and in your face, or maybe they just haven't decided to come out and talk to us yet. But what's interesting is I was here probably a little over an hour before we went live, doing some pre-setup. And as I was doing that setup, I found that I got the flashlight set up. We spent a lot of time really talking to the spirits and trying to see if they were, kind of telling them about what we're going to be doing. And so what we're real excited about is, because we got some flashlight activity. We actually had, the tripwire was dead silent until we gave them some time to come up and play with it. And boom, the entire tripwire lit up. So you guys be thinking, because again, we're hitting all these antique shops, oddities, or antique stores, oddity shops, and collections. So be thinking of some cool ideas and experiments that we'll be doing as we go through the series here. And, we're just going to kind of start with some traditional questions and see if we can get some activity going here. Like, yeah.
While you were setting up outside.
Oh, really?
Jared was over on the side of the store.
Okay, that's cool. Okay. I don't know if you guys could hear that or not, but the music box actually went off when we were outside. One of the things that I'm noticing about this is in the military. Okay, the flashlight at the end just turned on. I think we're going to start on this end. The military section back here seems to be quite active. They seem to want to react when we're not paying attention. I do have a static camera on all of this. And so we're going to see what happens. Let's see here. D Hoot asks, what is next door or around the store outside? There's nothing. This is just there is a road that runs by here, but this is actually just a single standalone building. So. Oh, perfect. They said that this was pretty well just farmland all over this area here. And so, so yeah, it's kind of perfect for it. It's isolated. It's relatively quiet inside here at the store. So we're going to see if we can bring some life to all this. It is a large store, Bob. And it is, they told me it's 5,200 square feet. So James asks if I feel any energy from any items in the store. I haven't had a lot of activity, or a lot of time to really walk around and feel just yet, but I'm going to see if I do here in just a little bit. And the state that we are located in is Georgia. We are in Dahlonega, Georgia. So, and that's a good question, Bob, about local Indian tribes. There are some Indian artifacts in here that we thought could get some activity.
That's actually one of the experiments that I want to try.
Perfect. All right, guys. So we're going to ask a couple questions here. We'll see if that flashlight will turn off back there. Okay. Thank you. All right. So I probably need to move this a little bit further and get here where we can see if this light over here comes on. So I did move the music box. We do have the light over here. And like I said, we've got flashlights going to all these booths. Oh, well, and of course it just turned on. So thank you for showing us where the light is.
That's been the most active one.
That's right. My theory on this is because it's over here with a lot of the military memorabilia and artifacts. Can you turn that light off for us, please? We're going to ask some questions. Can you turn that off on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. Oh, we can go ahead and leave that on. So my name is Miranda, and I'm so excited to be down here in North Georgia. That turned off. Do you all have wind chimes or something?
So the cameras that we have watching.
Oh, gotcha.
That's the sound that says they detect motion.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So if there's anybody in here with us, can you come up and either touch okay, they flashed the light at the end of the hall. Thank you. Anybody else here with us? Can you come up and either touch your light or touch the light on the floor there? I know we're just okay, thank you. Thank you. I know that we're just kind of learning about these tools here. I think you already know about them. Okay, go ahead and turn that off. I'm going to ask a few more questions. Can you step back from that, please? I want to learn more about you. No, Nancy, this one does not have a upstairs here. Okay. Right. Okay, if you can turn that light off for me there. I want to continue asking some questions. Okay, thank you. All right. If you are a male, if you're a man, can you turn your flashlight on or touch the light on the ground? If you're a man, okay, that's cool. This one over in the military section turned on. So you're a guy. All right, can you turn that off, please? Go ahead and turn that off. While he's got that light on, I'm going to go ahead and ask over here. Are there any females? If you were a woman, can you turn one of those lights on or touch the light on the floor? Just kind of want to know who I'm talking to. And guys over here, since I'm moderating this, if you don't mind, I like what Dee Dee did. If you can put a Q or if you can type in all caps, that way it'll make sure if things get kind of busy that I don't miss your question. Okay, Dee Dee says, did someone give away your belongings and that you want them back with your family? Did somebody give away your belongings? Do you want them back with your family? We've got a question here for you, sir, over here in the corner. Are you a veteran? Oh, that one turned on and that one turned on. So we've got two veterans here. Well, thank you for your service. Wow, both of those turned on. Great question. So we know we've got at least one guy in here that's a veteran and another veteran down on the end. Okay. Go ahead and turn those off. I want to ask you a few more questions. Okay, that one's turned off. Okay, thank you. What branch of the military did you fight in? Were you in the Army? Were you in the Navy? Were you in the Air Force? Oh, you were in the Air Force. That's cool. Well, again, thank you for your service and thank you for answering. All right, did we have anyone else here? So you were in the Air Force and you were a veteran back here. Were you Coast Guard? Were you a Marine? I bet you were a Marine back there.
Which war?
Which war were you in? Or did you fight in the war? Flash down there? Was it the flashlight?
Yeah.
Okay. So you did fight in the war. Were you in World War I? I had a grandpa that fought in both World War I and World War II. My grandpa Young fought in World War I, and my grandpa Jeffers was a Marine in World War II. All right. Were you in Korea? Or Vietnam? You were in Vietnam, huh? That's really cool that they're intelligent, on point responses. Thank you. I know that would have been hard in Vietnam. Ah, is there anyone that was Civil War? Was there anybody, I actually asked that before you turned your light off. Was there anybody here in the Civil War? Let's see. Got great questions here. And then let's see, I'm scrolling through, so please forgive me, guys, for scrolling as I ask. We've had ask in the branch of the military. That one just kicked on. Right, go ahead and turn that off. I've got a question for you here. We want to know, is there anyone from the great state of Tennessee? I can't accept your answer, really, because you turned on before I asked, unless you knew what I was going to ask. Would you mind turning that off? Or how about you flash it? Are you from Tennessee? Flash that light. Oh my gosh, it actually flashed the light. Thank you. Okay, that is badass, actually. I don't know if you guys could see that on the camera here, but they actually flashed it. I'm from Tennessee too, and it's the best, I gotta say. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna look at the items here in a second. We've got a lot of people asking Civil War. We will pull out the obelisk, D-Hoot, and see if we can get any answers, especially if we'll see if we can get them to name an item. David has a good question here. So speaking of wars, I know you said you fought in a war. You didn't answer. Did you die in a war? Is there anybody here who died in a war? Hello, Linda. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, okay. Do you know the war is over that you served in? Can you turn that light off right quick? He's flashing. Okay. All right, so you're flashing it. So I'll take that as a yes there. So you do know that the war is over. Well, I got to tell you, we don't get political here, but we're kind of in a warish situation that's not good right now. Yeah, you know that? The light just turned on over here. Are you aware of what year it is and what's going on? Thank you guys for confirming that you saw the flashing. All right. We're going to ask a question. Okay, so on the ground here, James has got a good question. You can either light the lights up on the ground or light up this many flashlights. How many? Okay, thank you. You understand. All right. How many spirits are here, or how many people are here? If there are, well, why don't you light up that many lights on the floor of how many people you see here? If you can see and count the people, go up and touch your light. All right, we might not be able to do that yet. What we will do is I'm going to call out a couple numbers, and you turn on the flashlight when I get to the right number. Now, I'm not counting us. There's me and Kim and Jared. We're here, but don't count us. I just want you to count yourself. Are there... Okay, go ahead. You understand. All right. Spoken like a true military man there. All right, you get it. Okay, step back. Go ahead and step on back. Maybe you're flashing how many times? Oh, so we do have two here. I was going to ask how many people we have. So at least we have two. They're both lit up at the same time. All right. What about, are there 3 spirits here? If there are 3 people here, other than us, go ahead and light up. I know this one never turned off, so how about 4? Okay, that one turned off. Are there 4 people here? Or is there just 3? Chris asks if the REM pod is going off. No, I don't think the REM pod was going off. We've got it set up over in the corner there. I think that was your cameras. We shut our cameras down. Okay, that may have been. They've shut the cameras down, so that may have actually been the REM pod going off. Okay. We just had a big storm here over the last week that destroyed parts of Georgia, North Carolina, and East Tennessee. I'm asking you guys that are back here and gals, did you feel the pressure change when the storm came through? Did you know that there was a big storm that went through? The tripwire's being really quiet. Yeah, Chris, I was thinking that was the tune of the camera, but I think that may have been the REM pod. I'll go back there and check here in a second. We'll see if it'll go off.
I'm checking to make sure I didn't forget a camera.
Okay. She's going to check the cameras. And so there's just the 3 of us in here. And let's see. D Hoot says, I got a funny feeling that there's going to be some talking communication tonight. Oh, that one flashed. We're going to try the Estes. I'm going to try a couple things. It's going to be kind of interesting. I may see if Jared will hold the camera while I do that and see. All right. Are there any animal spirits here in the building? Oh, now that flashlight has not turned on, period. And we got another flashlight that came on when we asked about animals. Okay. Well, that was interesting. Different light. Great question. Okay, go ahead and pull that back. Go ahead and step on back if you don't mind. Just step back. We're going to ask some questions about, so we've got veterans, someone from the Vietnam War, Air Force guy, Marine. Oh, I said Air Force and it lit up again. Yeah, I'm talking about you. That's really wild. Lit up on Air Force. They do seem willing and eager to communicate. Can you turn that light off there? I just want to show you guys this on the cabinet here. This is all airplane memorabilia. I mean, this is too wild. I mean, that's really intelligent. And there's other items here, but this is wild. Right under this and right above the airplane on the military memorabilia, it's Air Force. Okay, and of course we've got an animal. Are there any children here? We will try another section in a minute, but while we got communication going. So, any children in this area? No children. Okay. We'll see if there's any on the other side. Okay, so I'm going to ask this, and hopefully I can ask it where you all understand. This is a good question. So you guys that are here, Mr. Air Force guy, we're going to see if we can get your name in a few minutes. And the the Vietnam vet, and the animal, and anyone else that's here. Do you guys talk to each other? Do you all know each other or here? Do you chat with each other? Okay, that light went off. Do you see the people come in and look in the store? Can you see me? If you can see me. Do you know Kim and Jared? The owners? Colby? They've really done, thank you. They've really done a lot of great work here. And this is a really fine store. Hey, Alex, thank you so much for tuning in. Good question. James asked if the spirits are aware of each other. So they both lit up. Obviously, the animal. We're going to ask a question on that. So we asked if there were any animals here. Are you a dog? Are you a cat? Mm-hmm. How about a horse? Are you here from when this was a feed and seed store? Good question. D Hoot says, what's in the area where the animal question lit up? I'm going to go over there and see. Mind the music box that's going to go off. Well, this is kind of interesting. So in this booth are a bunch of pictures.
All John Pollock, which is a local.
Okay, you said Pollock or Collick? Okay. Kim says these are all John Collick art pieces. That is a local Georgia artist. And what's interesting is a lot of farm life and outdoor. These are amazing pieces.
He's a North Georgia artist, so it's all going to be.
Okay, so these are all going to be North Georgia pieces.
Went off for that.
I don't know if I could have backed into it or I backed into the field of view. Yeah, that may have been me, but we'll see here. Good question, D. And so what we're going to do, guys, here in just a little bit. Oh, yeah, we'll let's see what's over here where you are. What we'll do here in a little bit, actually. Now, these are the records. This is probably one of my favorite sections because I'm an audiophile and I love music. And then, of course, there's games.
60s and stuff.
Oh,
Which we
Vietnam era. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if you guys could hear Kim, but these are primarily albums from the 60s and 70s. We've got Ray Charles, Emmylou Harris, Donna Sumner. I mean, just lots of them. But what's interesting about that is these would be from the Vietnam era, which, oh, there we go, which is where our veteran is from, which proudly lit up the light to confirm that this is from that era. And D Hoot says she wants to go shopping here. So come on up. Let's see. Bob says, I'm a veteran and the store displays are very rare and respectful. I said, thank you.
Thank you.
She says, thank you. And Bob, thank you for your service on that too. Dee Dee says, are any of the pictures the person you are talking to? Okay. Is any of the pictures that was in this booth or Dee Dee, are you talking about in the booth we were just in? Because I'm a little bit behind on the, oh, here on where the, okay. Yeah, you're talking about the Air Force veteran. So are any of these pictures that are down here, were any of these your plane or photo of you? Any of these belong to you? Little booth, the bear on the chair. Oh, huh, that lit up when I said the bear on the chair. Are you a bear? Okay. Oh, now this is a good question. John says, are there any athletes here? Baseball, basketball player, football player? You're a football player. I'm not going to ask you who your favorite team is, being that we're in Georgia. Yeah, I agree, Nancy. Great questions, everyone. And this just lends to a great place to ask a lot of different questions about. Because, you know, if you think about all the emotion that these items would have, not only just from somebody that these belong to, but also to people who come into the store and find something that was important to them, because maybe it was something that was similar to a family member, a grandma, a mom, or someone had owned, or something that they'd grown up with. So just imagine the emotion that's held in here. I'm looking through the questions here. We're going to move. Okay, turn the light off down there. I'm going to ask another question here. Can you turn that off? Here you go. Oh, okay. Thank you. Are you happy that we're able to talk to you? Are any of you happy to be talking to us? Are you surprised to be talking to us? Okay, so there's some great comments here. Like I said, I'm a little bit delayed scrolling through here. Let's ask again about sports, because I know there's some sports booths and stuff. We're going to move up to the other section in a few minutes. Are there any tennis players here? Okay. Now, Sonia says, was your nickname Bear? Oh. What? You getting activity back there? Huh? Okay. Okay, we'll ask some questions over there. So was your nickname Bear? Yes, Bob, as far as the baseline on the EMF with the K2 meter, that's the cool thing when we were walking through here. There's no, I didn't get any Wi-Fi spikes, or I didn't get any type of spikes of EMF. It was just a typical normal low 0.2, 0.3 baseline on the EMF. I will get the K2 meters and the EMF detector out here in a few minutes to see if any of the different items cause any kind of spike. Let's see. That is a great question on Bear. I'm gonna ask again. Bear, were you a Vietnam vet? I want to see if I can find out Mr. Air Force's name, because that's too cool that lit up over there.
It'd be nice to know what he's attached to over here.
It would. I think we look at that here in a second too. We'll see what he's attached to. Let's see here. Oh, that's a good question. So talking back to our veterans here, were you drafted into the service? So did you enlist on your own? Oh, yeah. And okay, this is a good question. So I'm actually gonna sort of walk over here, and we'll start looking at the items here in just a second. I'll see if that music box will stop you. Okay. So, Bear, if you're here, can you make a noise by the item that is yours? We're going to listen for a few minutes. It's interesting. So, I don't think, I'm going to turn this off briefly until we're done, because I don't want to run the battery down right there. So, because that's going to detect me moving. So every time I first thought that Bear might be the animal we were talking about, but Bear always lights up with our Vietnam vet right there. So, can you make a noise by the item that is yours? Okay. I did see a question over here that I wanted to ask. So we were talking about music, and you seem to be aware that this was music you liked here. So we're going to ask a little bit about maybe who your favorite musician or music group is. First off, did you have a favorite musician? Did you have a favorite type of music? Now I'm going to keep this focused on the flashlight here. You know, for some, you like Blood, Sweat, and Tears? How about Janis Joplin? BJ Thomas. Ray Charles. Okay. So we're going to move around here in a few minutes. I'm going to see if that light back there, is there anyone back in this corner back here wants to talk to us? All right. So, oh, I was just about to ask, do you like some Charlie Daniels? How about some CCR? Oh, you got that bright, didn't you? Anybody else lighting up? You know, I investigated a bar once, and as soon as we started playing some Creedence, boom, the light on the table went, or on the corner table went off. All right, so we're going to step away from this section for a few minutes and go up here. Now, this is a good question. I'm actually going to turn the music box back on. So, and we want to talk a little bit here in a little bit to our Air Force veteran from Tennessee. We're going to talk to you here in a little bit. But we're going to go to a different section. If you guys want to get my attention, you can either touch that little red light back in the back, and that will get my attention. Or you can walk in front. Okay, that just went off. Yeah, you can walk in front of that, and that will get our attention. And we'll come back here. But we will be back. So thank you all. And thank you all for your questions. So I'll definitely get back to these questions here in a few minutes. But I do want to ask this before I leave. What do you think about the music we play today? Do you like it? Do you think it's crap? Maybe I'll have to play some music from today at some point. But I don't want to get a copyright violation, so I'm not going to do that right now. And I'm just on this one phone, so. But let's go on up here to the front. I know we've got some experiments that I know Jared's wanting to try here. So at this area, we've got another tripwire right here. And I've got a bunch of other flashlights. And I've got the flashlights set up in front of each of the different display cases. We've had 2 cases that were going off earlier. And they were intelligently going off. But this is cool because this is some more, this is like some toys. Well, and also some
There's military in
yep,
there.
military in here.
And
Wow. I'm just gonna kind of walk right here. I think this is a really cool booth. This has got some Native American artifacts. Now, Kim, do you know what? Now I know you said that some of these items were not from this area.
most of the arrowheads and the Indian artifacts that are in here are from North Texas. So they're going to be the Dallas, Fort Worth area, Oklahoma, that whole area up in there. Because I know where the source of this merchandise was.
Perfect. Perfect. Now, what do you know? What one of the primary or some of the primary natives that were in this area were? Tribes.
Okay. So I think like the Cherokee for sure. But I don't know the rest of them.
Okay.
But
Apache. Okay.
We'll ask Google while you are doing
All
your
right.
thing.
That sounds good. Let's see. Got baseball cards. This was one of them that was going off. Now that one was just, this lot was just going off. Are you excited about me looking at your case now?
So a lot of that high-end costume jewelry.
Ah. Well, this was interesting. As we were talking down here, this light was lit up. I think that this person was excited about me looking at their booth, and I can understand why. I don't know if you guys heard Kim. She said that a lot of this on the bottom is high-end costume jewelry from the 30s and 40s. Oh, and that is true. The light went off to confirm. Kim knows her stuff, doesn't she? For some reason, I feel kind of drawn to this booth. I feel like you're really proud of this. Are you really proud of your jewelry? Were any of these pieces your jewelry? Did any of these belong to you? Do you mind me looking at your jewelry? I think it's very pretty. Yeah. Are you a woman? Are you a female? Okay, you are. All right, thank you. Can you turn that light off?
Ask if she knows the design.
Okay. Can you turn that light off there? Kim has a question she wants me to ask. Okay, thank you. Do you know the jewelry designers from the era of the jewelry in the case? Do you know who designed these pieces? I'm glad you made it, Tiffany. Glad you're here. It's always good to see you. Sonia says Creek Indians were here. And, oh, okay. All right. So we're going to ask a little bit more about the jewelry here. And then we're going to,
Sarah said yes, she knew the design.
that's what it seems. So, were you alive? Okay, go ahead and step on back. We're just trying to get to know you. I feel like this person, oh, did you see that? Okay, I don't know if you guys could see that on the on the camera here with the light, but the tripwire actually lit up right beside the light. Okay, that's cool because that's the only light that's gone off on this one, and it went off right beside the flashlight. I feel like this person right here is really excited to talk to us and is really proud of the jewelry. Were you alive in the 30s?
I went to, she lived and worked in Wyoming.
Okay. So did you live and work in Miami?
Is that where she met the designers?
Did you meet the jewelry designer in Miami?
That's specific.
Hey, you never know. I mean,
She said yes to that. That's-
oh, really? Ah. Well, I'm going to turn on the obelisk and see if we can get a name. We'll try several different ways to get a name. Kim thinks she may know you. Any other questions that we can ask to see if? Okay.
She didn't have to. So
Okay. All right. Janet says, were you wearing any of these pieces of jewelry when you passed? Did you wear any of these to a party? Oh my gosh.
what she said.
The words we got on here was design and club. Okay. Now it's talking a lot, but the first two words we got was design and club. That is too cool. Okay, I want to go back right quick and see. We got the word police. We got mad and attitude. Okay. All right.
Okay. Indian tribes in Georgia
Got them right here.
was Cherokee, Chickasaw,
Gail.
Appalachia.
Is the name Gail? That's literally what we got was Gail.
Can you ask her if she knows me personally?
Wolf
No,
and Train.
no.
Okay. I don't know
Yeah.
what,
Yeah.
all of a sudden talking. Okay.
She is very vocal.
Yes,
And just,
news
just,
and noise.
just so you know, when you were over there with your veteran gentleman,
That light
she was very jealous because this light was going crazy.
It was on almost constantly.
Okay. All right. So smell and wings. Okay.
Somebody wants hot wings.
So, or maybe she liked the perfume wings.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. So we got the name Gail. Kim kind of lit up whenever I said the name Gail. She doesn't want to be on camera. But she lit up. So she wanted, if you'll turn that light off. Can you turn that off? I want to ask you some questions. Go ahead and turn that off, please.
Or we could focus on other items.
Do you know Kim? If you know Kim, can you touch that light or the light on the floor? Sorry, I just get kind of giddy. And thank and pray.
Okay. I'm just being silly. That's all.
This ovilus, I tell you, it talks a lot. I mean, it doesn't talk a lot. And the fact that it's talking, and I can pull up the words that it's got on there. There's a question. Was your jewelry confiscated by the police? Did somebody steal your jewelry? So I want to know more. Okay. This says, did you file a police report for stolen or missing jewelry? And yeah, did you model the jewelry? I want to know a little bit more about the club. Did you like to get dressed up and go out and listen to music at the clubs? So we're going to step on down here. If you want to talk to us, you can light that up. You know how to get my attention. And anytime you want to talk about your pretty jewelry,
That's where she sees the pretty jewelry.
do you see the pretty jewelry over in this case, right beside of you here? Do you see that jewelry and do you like that? Once and science. Sometimes it'll say mumbo jumbo, but once, I don't know. Oh,
Here we have a lot.
farmers. This property was a farm first. So we've got a lot of people. Oh yeah, okay. We've got a lot of people over here in the chat room that's talking to us, and they've got questions for you. So I want to know, and D Hoot wants to know, which of these pieces was yours? I'm going to actually. Okay, file details for me. Huh. You're just chatty. Now, I'm going to pan. I may get a K2 over here in a minute and run the K2 over this because, I mean, is your piece very detailed?
Divided.
Divided?
Divided.
Divided, yeah. And choose and many.
Mhm.
Choose many. So is it something small? And it's mini as M-I-N-I. Did you go to a speakeasy? Wow. Now, Kim, you said what? Some of these pieces were from some of these up here were from around like the 1900s, late 18?
The silver plate piece on the top is about 1860s.
Oh, wow. 1860s on that piece.
It's a and then the piece next to it is a biscuit jar, and that's about 1910.
Okay. Was the jewelry a gift? Southern and Weeps.
I'm just surprised you're getting. I'm just surprised you're getting talking.
I mean, this thing is sometimes so quiet and it's weird because it's like the flashlight is reacting the same way to that the obelisk is reacting or responding. So you said divided and you said many. So is your piece of jewelry, are they a pair of earrings? That's a good question. James? Is it a pair of earrings? Dee Dee says, what is the blue one? Which blue one are you talking about? Oh. Tiffany says, what? Let's see, what was the second word? You got Southern and weeps, as in cries. Around what weeps? Oh, she said, is it the blue ring?
I have a lot of blue rings. This one is costume. Is that the one she's talking about? But
She said by the necklace stand. Is that your blue ring?
this one, that one right there.
So John says, would you be upset if he bought your piece of jewelry? Or would you be happy that it's being worn? Tiffany says, are there any mourning jewelry in there? That's a good question, especially getting weeps.
Right there.
This is the only one right here that would come close to
Uh-huh.
that. It's a brooch, and it's not a classic piece of mourning jewelry, but it could be considered that, yes. So that's a gentleman.
Finish. Tiffany says all those words would point to something like that. Did that last thing light up, or was that? This is January. Region and watch. Eggs and statement.
This is the only one that would be considered that type of thing.
You said something about a watch.
Peace.
Mammy.
Mammy.
This one said was mammy when I bent down to this watch.
Jewelry itself isn't watch, but that case.
Right.
The case is probably like 1930, so I'd say.
It's a 1930s watch case. I didn't know if you all could hear or not. Says not and like KNOT and little and find.
I'm confused by all these words.
Yeah. You said that and it said syllables. Somebody's kind of a smart ass.
Yeah,
That's
that's why I'm convinced it's not my lady from Miami
ah,
that passed 3 years ago.
okay. Was a lot of that her story?
No, but she used to come and spend hours with me looking at jewelry. And she worked in Miami, and she knew all the designers from the 1930s, 40s, and 50s. That's
Okay.
why I was going down that path. Of course, I think that might be too specific, but
Well, you never know.
you never know.
I don't know if you guys could hear that, but that would make sense the way she's looking at the jewelry.
She literally, she'd come and I'd pull up a chair and she'd spend about 6 hours here
Wow.
when she would come.
Okay. We'll have to dig into that. All right. So we're going to step on over here since you've gotten a little bit quieter. We'll come back and we'll look and see because Tiffany has a good point. She said anything with a piece of rope, string, hair, or anything like that.
Something like that.
That would go along with the knot.
Well, when we do your other location, remind me of that.
Okay. It said remove.
Mhm.
All right. Jared, did you have a
Right here,
The Native American tribes.
okay.
From the area that those items came from.
Well, now this is interesting because as soon as you gave me that, it says West and Wagon.
Okay.
So Jared just handed me a list of the Indian tribes that were associated with these items. And because these items did come from Texas area,
North Texas.
North
yeah,
Texas. Okay, North Texas and Oklahoma. And we got Wagon and West on here. So you had mentioned something about doing some experiments with this. What did you have in mind?
So I had an interesting experience where a group of items from two different opposing cultures
Mm-hmm.
were in close proximity together, and that seemed to agitate them enough that I actually saw and was interacted with.
Okay.
So I was wondering if we had the Native American and artifacts here, and we brought like cowboy pioneer artifacts into close proximity to them, if they would have some sort of reaction.
But we don't really have.
The closest we have would be a cowboy saddle and
That's
spur.
not a cowboy saddle. That's an English saddle. It's an English riding saddle. It's not the same.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, well,
But see if there's anything more in there as far as like just with
Show and threat. All right, what would you like for me to show? And spurs would be good. Dee Dee says yum and okay. So Dee Dee says she loves this experiment. Great idea, Jared. Tiffany says it's cool that the words are spot on tonight. Yeah, and that's really wild because a lot of the time it's you can't always put them as spot on as they've been being tonight. Is there anyone here that was associated with the Trail of Tears?
no, that this is all gonna be
that was primarily the Cherokee that was involved. With
Yeah.
the years.
Tiffany says maybe they are daring you to show them the spurs and saddle from the white man. LOL.
Well, so far,
So we can sit it beside something.
just take one of these artifacts out.
Cute, shaken, and road or cube, shaken, and roadway.
I'm gonna put one of that on here with it. Just remember for gosh sake, when you get
And let's put an EDI box with it. We've got a flashlight there, the EDI box, and I'm going to sit down in a second. And truck. Truck. Okay, let's see. I'm going to grab. You'll hold this for me a second, Jared. I'm going to grab a K2 meter.
horses eat sugar cubes from Tiffany White.
well, that's true. That is true. And they would shake you when you
Yep. Daryl Paulette makes a good point. Other Indian tribes from other states could cause a negative reaction.
do. Absolutely. What do you
Is that
That's
the Geiger?
No, that one's. Why is that pegging? Let me make sure. Make sure it's not the.
What are those
That
devices?
could be picking up my phone right there, real close. Let's see if.
Okay, I'm stepping back.
But it's weird.
Is it stopped now? Okay. Let me go sit down for a minute.
All right.
Let me change this one. Okay. Make sure it's not a phone there. I'm going to sit this down here and see. That's interesting that that's not going off now.
If you want us to take the spurs away, what did it say?
Preacher and White and David.
I don't know. It wouldn't be uncommon for there to be pastures out on the in the pioneers.
Well, that was just interesting. It said white. Now it said black. Okay, so it said preacher,
Keep a check on your phone battery.
white. I'm 72%.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just seeing on the comments here. Thank you, Nancy. Nope, we're good on the phone battery. We are almost an hour and a half in. It's been a great session so far. You guys have asked some great questions. I'm real impressed by the direct responses we were getting earlier. Is there somebody named David here?
Try to get on it.
If there's somebody named David, you can light up your flashlight. You can touch this box on the floor or touch those little devices there. Were you a preacher? Were you a horse riding, spur wearing? Okay, look, the K2 just lit up. Okay, so you were a horse riding, spur wearing preacher man? Okay.
It did something.
Yeah, we got K2 hits. All right. You're my kind of man, David. Okay. Were those your spurs? Yes, Dee Dee, it did. It said Preacher David. And apparently the K2 lit up. Every time I say Preacher David, that K2 lights up. Look at that. Okay. Any horse thieves in here? Did you help the Native Americans? So what kind of native artifact is that? Do you know?
So it says on the tag that it's a axe head,
Okay.
but I imagine that would probably have been more of a tool for like chopping wood
Okay.
and not like a weapon for combat.
Gotcha.
I could try the larger one.
Go ahead and sit it down there. See if anything happens. Bell and Went. Monument.
This one is a big groove axe. Oh,
Wow. Okay. When he said, I don't know if you guys see that, but when he set that down,
it went yellow.
yeah, both of them lit up. So what's better than one axe head, but a bigger axe head? Is bigger better? Yeah, look at that.
Did you trade with the Native Americans?
Do you do you not like having your Trying to think of who I'm speaking with. Do you not like having your spurs by those native artifacts? Preacher David? I'm going to see if okay. Let's see if I can actually sit down here. Are you okay if I sit down here?
Well, it's going off. Oh, but look at that.
Am I too close?
We've also got a couple of Native American pipes. What did it say?
It said hippity hop.
Maybe it's telling us to go.
Maybe it's telling me I can't sit, but I should hippity hop. Beg. Do you want me to beg you to talk? Okay, so looking at the comments here. Okay.
It's going off again.
So did you get thrown from a horse? I'm trying to keep my distance because I don't want to set it off, but I tell you, that's the scariest thing is, I mean, I'm pretty far back. And if my phone gives off that much EMF,
Will they also be tripwire?
yeah, it should. Yeah, that's a good point.
But yeah, the tripwire isn't doing anything.
No,
right
the
there.
tripwires right here beside me. Tiffany says, are there any monuments in the area for someone that would have been an important figure during that time?
The closest I can think of would be in town with the Gold Museum. What we're most famous for in our area is the site of the first major gold rush.
Okay.
That's why it was the first. That's why it was the start of the Trail of Tears. It was because of the gold rush.
Gotcha.
There was a large number of people moving into the area to get rich, and it drove the Cherokee. That seems to be upsetting the.
It does seem to be upsetting them.
Does me mentioning the Trail of Tears upset you?
Wow. Good question.
What's the question?
About the monument. Oh, we got pressure hits on the EMF detector, or excuse me, on the EDI plus.
What does that do?
So the EDI plus is really cool. I like it because it tells us the temperature in real time. It tells any atmospheric changes, as in sharp cold spikes, sharp hot spikes, or pressure changes, humidity changes. It also has an EMF, and so that yellow light flashing is a pressure change. And a lot of the time, when the pressure starts acting up, things happen.
Okay.
I mean, I will say it's a calm night, clear night so far with the weather. So I had rain coming down, but it cleared up when I got down here to Georgia. So it is clear out there. Jay, go ahead. James says, are there any miners in the building? Oh, Miss Thang down there lit up. You a gold digger? Gail. Gail?
Gold digger.
Exactly. Are you a gold digger, Gail?
Well, it flickered a bit.
So in today's terms, that might be a little more derogatory than it may have been in your time.
Maybe Gail didn't like that. She turned off.
It's okay, Gail.
We're getting. What's it doing on the pressure thing?
And so the temperature's sitting there at 69.
Okay.
Were any of you guys minors? And hits on the K2 there.
David, would you like for me to switch the axes to the pipes or to a different artifact?
Why don't you try that?
Okay, we'll give that a try. I'll take the axes away.
Okay, that's interesting.
What did it do?
So you remove the axes and the K2s have stopped.
We have two stone pipes.
Dee Dee says she likes these spirits. They're a lot of fun. Okay, so we've got some pipes down here. Now that might be me. Yeah, that's me moving close. Wow, that's scary.
You're back to where you were, and it's still up in the
Well,
orange.
that's true.
What is this?
I'm wondering.
Are those pipes bothering
What
you?
happens if you remove the spurs? Does anything change there? I'm just wondering if it's a reaction between. He's like, don't take my spurs.
Okay. They're still going.
They're still going. All right. Why don't you try putting the spurs back and pulling the pipes back?
Okay. Good. Back up for a second, see if that goes anywhere. Interesting.
They may not have liked you moving their axe heads.
All right. I'll just put the axe heads back.
Do you want your axe heads back?
Come on.
They've calmed down.
Huh.
Okay, I don't know if this is translating well on this camera, but when he set the axe heads down, it's like it balanced it out. And
Messenger?
it said messenger. Do what? Uh-huh.
So I have a Native American leather handle knife right here.
Ah. That's
Do we want-
beautiful.
Do we want to give that a try?
Right? Do you want
Maybe not like that.
do you want him to sit the knife down? Roger and call. I don't know if he's saying a name or saying Roger is in do it. Yeah. Oh, good point. Okay. James says, hey, Jared, could you sit the EDI box on the big axe head? And that's pretty wild because that's almost so they've calmed down.
So like that?
Yep.
Oh.
We'll see if it. Okay. So when he set the knife down by the axe heads, the K2 meters stopped.
Almost like they balanced out.
That's what it seems like.
if that's the case, if I take the items away, it should become agitated again.
It should. Tiffany says there is a marker in town that talks about the gold rush and what they call the Chestate River Diving Bell.
Yes.
When you got Bell earlier, that might be related. I know I'm behind just leaving this comment for later review. Nope. Thank you, Tiffany. That's a good point because it said Bell and it said monument.
That's in Park, the historic.
Okay.
And when we started talking about the Trail of Tears,
Uh-huh.
it started getting very agitated again.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead and pull another item away.
Yep. Thank you for looking that up, Tiffany. That's a good point and something to look further into. Guys, definitely go back and watch this because I know sometimes it's kind of hard to hear EVPs and different stuff like that. But you know, some of this stuff that we're doing, we definitely need to go back and review and see how we can tie it all together. So it's interesting that the K2 meters have completely stopped. I have not moved.
One more item.
Okay. Oh.
Does not say what it is. It looks like a antler or necklace. This he doesn't have anything on the tag except the price. But look at the that's because your phone is getting closer to it.
Could be. Let me get back here.
Could you put your
Whoa, the temperature. Look at that.
my hand is cold. No, put your hand over here.
What is that? I mean, there's no breeze.
There's
And
no
the door is solid. There is significant cold air right here. Hey, Jared, I've got a temp gun in.
I'd actually just be this air vent right there.
Okay.
But
If you'll reach in.
I think it's just the air vent.
Air
in
vent?
this case.
Okay. All right.
That was interesting.
The temperature was flashing for a minute there. It was bouncing. Let's see. Tiffany says this bell was designed and used at the very beginning of the gold rush, which would then also be tied to the Trail of Tears, essentially.
Yes.
And Nancy says, great experiment. This said river and necessary.
Hey, David, do you want me to put the items back where they belong?
David, were you a traveling preacher? Oh, pressure changes. So you were a traveling preacher. Oh, every time I say that, the pressure changes.
It said continued.
And continued. What kind of preacher were you? Were you a Methodist preacher? It's a good question. Okay.
Is there more than one spirit here?
Pressure lit up. It's interesting. We've only had 2 hits on either of these tripwires. And sometimes these tripwires are very active. They're pretty significant. One in the very beginning when I was talking to them before we came on live, and they just lit the entire wire up. The other one lit up right beside of Gail over there. Are you still with us, Gail? If you're still with us, are you still over there by your jewelry?
Is it past your bedtime?
Tiffany says they had to have the bell because otherwise they could only mine the gold close to the bank. So they designed the bell to use in deep water.
Yep.
Dee Dee says, I want to know in the morning, are they saying hello to Bear and David? And was it Gail? So I got a question. Gail, do you know David? Do you know our Air Force guy back there? Or our Vietnam vet, Little Bear? I don't want to call him Little Bear. I think he's just Bear. Ah, Tiffany says that was in response to the words river on the obelisk. You were on it, girl. Do you want to try anything with the uranium?
Sure.
Okay.
We want to try the uranium next to items that we have seen activity.
We can.
All right. I'll go get some of the uranium spot.
Yeah, it's been pretty quiet back there. Of course, I don't know. I've not had the okay, the K2 is quiet. Oh, I gotcha. Tiffany, I like that too. It's like I have my own personal researcher right here while I'm investigating. This actually really comes in handy because, like I said, these next couple places have got some crazy, interesting history with them that we'll be able to connect. I'm hoping.
So before I put these anywhere close to those items, I show the people what they are. So these are uranium glass pieces. They just look like green and orange right now, but if I shine a ultraviolet light on them, they light up because they become agitated.
It's interesting when you did this. The K2 meters have gotten quiet. It's like they're like, whoa.
Maybe they're fascinated. Here, I will take these and set things over here next to you guys.
That's pretty wild. They got real quiet.
Do you want me to shine the light on them again?
The obelisk has gotten quiet. I want to ask, can you tell me anything about plan and drive? That doesn't.
It's like a cattle drive or driving someone out of their home.
Now, what happens if you move the uranium?
To the other side or something?
Yeah.
So, I'll here for a second. Do you want to switch back to the axe heads? Would you rather the pipes?
They're quiet.
I'm gonna take this a bit back.
Every time I say they're quiet, oh, Gail's got hers open. And we got the word 80. How old was Gail? Uh-huh.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Okay.
You know,
I know it's not polite to ask a lady her age, but is that how old you were?
I don't think it's right.
Okay.
Were
Were
you
you-
older than 80? I think the uranium class is doing.
No, but it was interesting that the K2 got quiet when you brought them over. Now, does the uranium blast, do they put off much uranium?
They do put off a very small trace amount of radiation, but not enough to be dangerous. You would literally have to like keep this on your person 24/7 to have any sort of negative effect from it.
Ah, okay.
Gail, would you like to take a look? You might know what it is.
This said day and however. Nancy says maybe that was a price and not a, yeah. Hey, Crystal, glad you made it. Yeah, so now that he's taken everything away except the spurs, K2 meters are quiet. That's interesting. No. I'm going to go back. I want to ask here in a few minutes. I think Jared was going to grab something else. I'm kind of interested to see what our, oh, there's Gail again. I was going to talk about the Air Force guy.
Do you like the Air Force guy, Gail?
Yeah, Bob, it looks like the temperature has gone down a little bit. We've got, it's 68.2. We've been having a few pressure hits. Gail, so there's a siren that's going off and that lit up as soon as the siren started going. And, Gail was talking about the police a little bit earlier. Did you hear that siren, Gail? Yeah. After the police car passed. This says close. See, those got quiet. You can probably prop it up against something. Huh. Now, normally I don't get stuff the same time this said club again.
Don't want to stay standing up, do they?
Usually you got to prop them against something there. They seem to really react when they're around the Native American items.
I was thinking maybe put the spurs in the case with them.
Try it. Clear and cook. Mini. Well, that's weird. We got mini again. M-I-N-I. Ah, well, thank you, Crystal. She says she's going to send some K2 stands. I would appreciate that. Thank you. That would definitely be handy. James asked, was Gail married to a policeman? Did a policeman give you that jewelry? Or did you buy your own? Oh, look at that lit up. So you bought your own?
I think I'll put David's spurs back bottom.
Okay. They seem to not like having those there together. Okay, James says maybe the police hit Gail with a club. She's flashing the light. That's
Oh, no.
Gail does seem kind of wild. All right, so I'm going to step back here. Let's see if there's any other. This says dollars and none and nail, like N-A-I-L. Dollars, nail, none, law and strong. Pulled, maybe, and gone. Trying to think. I know we're getting close to the top of the hour. I think we take the Ovilus and a K2 over here. I may let Jared carry this so that I'm away from it. And I want to kind of see if we can get some responses over here if you want. Yeah, see if maybe we can determine who an item that I think Kim wanted to know who our Air Force guy was, what item he was connected to. Let's. This says ahead. That's true. This says surprise and Anne in British. Writing, design, focus. I'm trying to focus. You're okay. Let's see here. Oh, that's funny. Okay, I got to show this because Dee Dee says, what is antique pox? The mask will not help you against these.
Basically, it's a thickness that we have of being attracted. Old merchandise.
And when you said that, Gail lit up.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay. So Tiffany says they used nails in the 1800s to decorate their doors to show their wealth. They were very expensive. This
Fingernails.
it was NAIL. All right. Let's see here. Yep, it's a shopping disease, Dee Dee. Sounds like you've already got, oh, we're lit up back here. This says bank and file. All right. So, hey, Bear. Thank you. All right. I want to talk to our Air Force guy here. Are you with us? You were very talkative earlier. If you're still with us, can you turn your light on? Can you tell us your name? Bob says in New England, nails above your door represented wealth, and more nails, more wealth. Very, very cool. Talking to the Air Force veteran from Tennessee. Can you tell me your name? Okay, that said violent and I. And our Vietnam vet, Bear, lit up. Okay, so I want to see if any of these items I cannot. Hey, Jared. Would you mind holding this camera? I'm going to see because I need to put some distance between me and this because otherwise it's going to pick up my camera here. So I just want to see if we can pinpoint any of these items over here that belongs to our Air Force guy. It's got a long range to it. So if you want to take that.
You want to take the second one?
This doesn't pick up.
So the dreams interpreter says maybe it was his nickname.
Bear. Actually, I'm going to turn this off right quick. Because that's going to go while we're here.
Though a nickname is a very personal thing. Oh,
Well,
so is that a picture of a person right there?
it is. It is. It says John Alcott.
I'll go ahead and come in and take a closer look. So it is an airplane pilot. And it's right next to that the flashlight that's been going off so much.
Yeah. Were you a pilot? I know you were in the Air Force. Were you a pilot?
Let me take a step back so that you feel a little more comfortable.
I'll make sure there's nothing. I don't know. I mean, it's not consistent.
Aside from the fact that it involves planes.
Uh-huh. I don't have any phones or anything on me because
I'm holding it.
yeah. I'm trying to think of another. Bear's got his light on.
And of course, he turned it off before I could turn the camera.
Every time you're here and they want to do it behind your back. I'm going to step back a minute. I'm trying to think of another tool that would not be set off by the phone.
Maybe the pressure, the thing that you've got around the corner over here.
Yes. And what's interesting, this picture
Also sets it off.
triggered.
Move the picture and see if the K2 still hits there. Maybe wave it in front of the picture now. Still did something.
Still did it. Wow. That handsome looking man. That. That. I want to go back to this spot right here.
It's also going off right there.
I want to make sure it's not like a power thing right here that could be.
The only thing I can think of for power source is the light switch to your left, but that's way over there.
Heat right here. 12 feet. Like a tingly.
Yeah,
You feel the heat?
yeah.
Almost like a heat coming off the plane.
You're feeling it from the cockpit right here.
Let me think what else we got.
Bob Bernal makes a very good point.
Yeah.
If it was power, it would be constant.
That's true. It would be.
So the dealers in this, so they've moved away from the picture. So to answer your question, James, our dealers get their items from various different sources. Sometimes it's from estate sales or from people that have recently passed away. Other times they go to auctions. Unfortunately, after that, the dealer then could shift things around so that the items are from different people. It's very hard to track who they belong to.
This comes and goes.
Let me step up and take a get a closer look at his picture. Looks like a classic guy from a Scooby-Doo episode.
Yeah, it's now nothing. That's pretty wild. Kind of interesting.
So we are at 2 hours and 5 minutes.
All right. I'm going to see one more thing. I want to try something other than the K2 meter. And to see if we can identify who this gentleman is. You want to stay there just a minute. I want to see if I've got something that doesn't pick up
Okay.
anything off. I'm just trying to pull off any false call.
Oh,
It's probably this day.
did you just bump it?
I just bumped it.
All right.
But when she closed that case up, that Bill's case, the entire
Line.
line lit up. I'm gonna try this right quick here.
Yes, those were actual photographs that we did a close up of.
We'll probably go 360 over here and see.
Whoa. What is it supposed to do?
Well, it lights up like that. It'll spin all the way around. Mine's kind of broke a little bit, but it still works. And so,
Does it mean a certain thing the way that it lights up?
no, honestly, I can hardly get it to light up.
Right.
So let's try this over here.
We will get a close up of the picture and check the back for any names.
I just want to see.
So this was the gentleman that was setting the sensor off the most.
Oh, I meant to grab that EDI. Let's sit this right here. Yeah, you can come up, you can touch that. I can't set it off.
Directions shown on MS ENF meter.
Now, so let's see. I'm gonna step back out of your space and see if we can determine maybe who. Okay.
And for DHoot, I can try checking to see if the name is on the back of that picture, but most likely it's inside the frame and I can't open it up because that might damage the product for the dealer.
Mhm. And Tiffany has a good point. They do rarely go off. Only time I get mine to go off is when we're around kids. So,
Well, it does look like some sort of spaceship or something.
right. Oh yeah, we could do the rods. You know what? Since Jared's holding the
Does that mean something?
let's see.
And then it went purple again.
I'm not sure. Maybe that's a good sign to do the rods.
All right. What are the rods?
If you'll hold this, the dowsing rods, I'll
Okay.
go grab those right quick, and then we'll wrap things up. So y'all be getting your last minute questions in, and then we're gonna wrap things up. So let me grab it.
Would you like to check and see if you can find the names on the back of that picture for us?
Which picture?
This one right here.
Oh, yes.
So, and I'm going to head over this way so that we can see the dowsing rods. Okay.
So we got the there. That's what it is. Line up. There.
Yes. All right.
No, this is sealed.
Yeah.
All right. So yes, Mr. DeHoot, it looks like it's sealed, so we can't tell.
But that was a good.
But what does that say?
What is this?
Vintage picture frame.
Okay, but it doesn't say anything about the
Okay.
advertised building.
I want to reset this.
Oh, sorry, I moved it.
Oh, no, no. That's fine.
This thing?
It said "went in terms." It'll focus for us.
Did you
Oh,
get
no.
I don't know where you have them,
Okay,
unfortunately.
that's fine. We're good.
Okay, so I say we do the dowsing rods. I have a lot of luck with these. We're just gonna ask some questions to see if they'll respond. Let me. They're there. Can you see the rods on this, or do I need to have my back?
How about I stand in the light with it shining
Yeah,
towards
probably
you?
needs to-
And
And we'll just keep actually, I'll get right in here. That tripwire is,
yeah,
let me reset that just in case.
and you are absolutely right, misinterpreter. Unfortunately, a lot of the old photos were the people were bad about putting names and information about on them. So it's still going.
There's been a kink in the wire there. Okay, so I'll stand here. And the light down there came on. So if I'm holding the rods, can you see them okay?
I can see them.
Can
Question.
you see them on the,
Oh, who's that one?
that was the one that lit up with the animal. So we
And
got multiple lights going on now. Can
and
you turn your light on, sir?
the interpreter has a question.
All right. So-
Bear, will you let the shopkeepers know tomorrow if you're still there?
All the lights just went off.
It'll probably be past their bedtime at that point.
Okay, all right. So these rods here, you probably know what they are. They're used for finding water. We use them for spirit communication. So what we're going to do is, let me get centered here. So we're going to ask a series of questions. You guys in the chat room, feel free to ask. What was that?
I think that was just the building settling,
Okay.
unfortunately.
So we're going to ask, I'll turn on.
Was that
yes,
you, Bear?
a response for yes is going to be the rods will be crossed. So cross the rods for yes, leave them open for no. All right. So I can feel it pulling already. So can you point the rods over to the airplane on the shelf? Can you point the rods? Oh,
You're absolutely right, DeHoot. Gail probably does have something to say.
look at that. Yeah. All
So
right.
there is, in fact, an airplane in that direction.
You can show it if you want.
So there's the rods. And there's the airplane.
All right. Can you straighten the rods up? Arrived.
You have arrived at your destination.
So go ahead and straighten those up. All right. So is the man who was in the Air Force, are you still here with us? Can you cross the rods if you are?
Well,
I got a shift actually. Let me reset. Okay. All right. So, were you a veteran of the Korean War? No.
Michelle asks if he was a pilot or a mechanic that worked on the planes.
So were you a pilot? Did you work on the planes? It's okay. Were you an officer? Walking. Were you below an officer?
James asks, can you cross if you are a radar tech?
Good question. Were you a radar tech?
It looks like it wants to. Well, for a moment, there it goes.
Okay, great question. Now, what we'll probably do at some of these other shows this season is we'll do the blind and the sensory deprived session with the rods. So be thinking of your questions. We'll do that at some of the other places as well, where you ask the questions and I'll wear noise canceling headphones and be blindfolded.
So Tiffany asks if you were a paratrooper.
Questions.
All right. I'm not sure if YouTube would let us ask that question, Daryl.
What?
Involving dropping certain objects.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We can ask that?
Yeah.
All right. Did you drop bombs? Okay. Kinda.
Oh, wow. Look at what the temperature is.
Okay, we're gonna shift over here. Oh, sorry, I tapped it. So it's going 6.6.
Now, are any of the items on that shelf yours?
Well, that's definitely a clear cross.
Okay.
Is it changing temperature again?
It's 66.7. You like the plane that's there on the shelf? That's a strong. Oh,
And the blue flash.
that was
Okay. Did you serve stateside?
okay.
Well, that definitely looks like a cross. They're crossed.
And fill a point on it. Can you straighten these up?
I'm gonna look at the atmosphere again.
It's just steady.
Okay. So
All right. Did you have a wife? How about a girlfriend? Did you have a girlfriend? Oh, you did, huh? Okay. All right. That's awesome. I bet she was really pretty. Okay. Go ahead and stop those a minute. I want to ask you, were you in your teens? Were you 18?
When you enlisted.
Were you 20 or in your 20s? Were you in your 20s when you enlisted? Or maybe you said you were?
That looked like it was crossing to me.
Mm-hmm. We'll say you were in your 20s.
We won't tell anybody.
Were you forced to leave home? No. Were you proud to serve your country?
Well, we are grateful for your service.
Yeah. Now I like to play. Sometimes I like to play military enlistment or recruiting ads from the early 1900s or the 1940s that will trigger activity sometimes. Yeah. I play that, but I need to pre-record some because I'm having to use my phone to record. So you heard an ad. I've got to shift. This is pulling on my hands.
Thank you for joining us, Dahoud. We hope you have a great night.
Okay.
And
That's a build.
I'm not sure on that one.
That's weird.
Look at the rods.
Yeah.
They were completely crossed.
Sorry, I was having to reposition.
I do agree with Nancy. Are you having fun with us asking all these questions?
You want us to leave? Well, I came all the way down from Northeast Tennessee. It was about a little over 4 hours for me. So I'm excited to be here. Thank you for letting me come into your space. And I'm looking forward to digging into the history.
Are you able to see us?
It's interesting. I want to put these down for a second. It's interesting that that this gentleman here, that he got quiet. He was very talkative in the beginning and got real quiet. And of course, we've got our Vietnam vet down there, Bear. Can you let us know if you're still here, Bear? Oh, that's interesting, Tiffany. Thank you. All right. Well, we're going on 2.5 hours here, and I'm going to turn the camera around here, and I think we're going to probably sign off here in a second.
There was a couple of good comments about the horses and the gold trail.
Yeah,
I don't think we were able to get to.
Yeah. So, So like I said, guys, this has been such a fun first episode. You know, you just never know how things are going to go. Honestly, I'm really pleased because again, you know, for there not being any, you know, big and bold reports coming from this location, to get some really cool responses. And, you know, the responses were on point. A lot of them, especially there in the beginning. If you missed our first hour, definitely go back and check it out, because we did have a lot of just consistent, intelligent responses, especially from the gentleman over here that seems to be an Air Force veteran. This hall right here seems to be really, really active. We didn't even really make it to these other corners here of the store. I mean, these areas, we kind of hit just on one area. The REM pod was going off earlier. Somebody did hear that. It's going to be a great season, guys. You know, doing these antique stores, again, a lot of them have interesting stories related to the building itself. And as I had said, this one originally a feed and seed store, and then after that, a men's mission for guys who were addicts and trying to get their life back in order. Waypoint was what that was. And in fact, the living quarters for them would have been in the back. The area where the store would have been up toward the front. And so there's a lot of different areas here that we didn't end up hitting. Thank you all so much for your questions, your comments, and for, more importantly, tuning in and sharing these past 2.5 hours with us. It's been a lot of fun, and definitely go back, check out the episode, see if there's anything that we've missed. And if we, you know, send me those timestamps if there's anything. Yes, thank you. And send me those timestamps, if you will, because on Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, we will be doing a first Behind the Screams live for this episode, where we'll be diving in. We'll be talking about some of the cool captures that we had. So if you see something that I missed, please definitely reach out and do that. And let me see if this shows this the right way. There we go. We're going to put this in the show notes. We've got Dipsy Doodle Antiques. I want to thank Kim and Jared for allowing us to spend time in here, go through just, I mean, we just scratched the surface of the artifacts here. So they are here in Dahlonega, and they have so many cool things. You can come in here, spend some great, I mean, just spend a lot of time, apparently, like Gail and Kim will talk to you about all kinds of the antiques and stuff that's in here. So we will put this information here in the show notes, so you can find out more information about this location. And then, of course, Dahlonega itself with so much history. So until Thursday night, hope you get, oh, wait a second. They seem to know when we're getting ready to get off here. I was like, the REM pod's going off.
I went to pick it up and it just started doing some dirt on the phone.
Okay, this is cool. Okay. Can you step back from that, please? Did
I upset you when I went to reach for it?
Do you like playing with that? Can you turn it to green? Okay, thank you. Can you turn it to blue?
Do you understand what we're saying?
Oh. Okay, I'm going to Can you make that stop? Because we've got some really great comments here and we were just about to sign off.
You got jealous with the rest of them had their time.
Right. Now we had this go off one other time. Okay, so that was me setting that down, that flashlight right there. Yes, so we've got a lot of people, they say they love the name. And Tiffany says, thank you to the owners for letting me come in and investigate. We need more people like you in this community. Totally agree. And
We have their
they said you're welcome. So yeah, before the REM pod went off there, like I said, we were just in the process of getting off here. Yeah, so guys, tune in this Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern time, as we will be back in East Tennessee at the Ghost Biker Garage, and we will be going behind the screams live, and we'll be talking about some of the really cool things that happened here. So again, thank you all. Prayers and thoughts with everyone affected by the hurricane here, and look forward to seeing you all then with and then, of course, next Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, in another amazing location with great history. So be thinking about any cool things you want me to try, because these, again, we're going to be in other antique shops. They'll have different layouts. They'll have different stories, but we'll be doing some unique things. So be thinking on anything you'd like for me to try. Reach out with those timestamps and reach out with any of the any suggestions on things to try. So I will see you all on Thursday night. Take care.